Being the daughter of a boy mom. Today in Croydon, a 15-year-old girl was stabbed to death by a 17-year-old boy because she rejected his advances. Me, a concerned female, started talking to my mom about the disturbing rise in extreme misogyny amongst young men, and she told me off for men bashing because I have brother. She was actually more concerned about the perception of men because she has a son, rather than the violence women face despite having a daughter. I just don't understand why some mothers don't have the ability to empathize with their daughters, despite being both women. Edit. My parents have a great relationship and my dad is super understanding. So I really guess it's down to internalized misogyny in my situation. My grandmother defended my father's neglect and abuse for my entire life. She still does it. RN. Because he is her son and the center of her universe. I have 2 male children and I hope to raise them as responsible, empathic humans that are capable of learning boundaries and how to emote. Despite society's attitudes around men, I work hard at it and have hope. I understand. My mother very obviously loves my brother more than me. Because he is male, she'd buy him expensive presents for Christmas and birthdays but wouldn't spend much on me. For example, on his birthday one year, she got him concert tickets to his favorite band. On my birthday, I was lucky to get a CD. The misogyny runs deep in her. Look, I think the hard truth is that a lot of women love their boys the way they're meant to love their husbands. I am the daughter of a boy mom. She defends men who were arrested for sleeping with a child because they're only 19 or 20 and they shouldn't have their lives ruined. My dad treats her like his maid. She recently lost 90 pounds on a drug that's made her hair fall out because he wanted her to do it. I used to try to point things out to her, but I've given up. She's never going to change. Because they've invested in patriarchy through their sons. Their sons are meant to bring them some benefits of patriarchy. It was always the boy-mother deal. That's why for eons women have prayed for a firstborn boy. Folded hands, medium light skin tone, folded hands, medium light skin tone, folded hands, medium light skin tone, folded hands, medium light skin tone. It's the good woman's reward time. I'm very low contact with my mother because she chose her pa's son over me throughout my childhood. He was a goddamn monster and I have to live with the scars. I wish I knew I could have called the cops. I wish anyone would have called CPS. I didn't know how wrong it all was because I was a child. The people who were supposed to protect me didn't give a shit. I'm shocked he isn't in prison for some violent crime by now. How does someone who cut and beat his little sister, mutilated animals, and countless other horrors seemingly grow out of it? My mother sent me to the mental hospital when I informed her that my brother had molested me. When I first told my parents about the abuse, started when I was 6 and brother was 11. I told my parents in front of my male partner. My mother swore up and down that she believed me and always knew my brother to be a monster. Then when I was visiting home without my partner, it came out that they didn't believe me and in fact I should be kinder to my brother because he was sad after being bullied in high school. Because they believed his sob story when they confronted them. Boy moms will throw their daughters under a bus for their sons. Ugh. Moms can be so clueless sometimes. Like hello. We're the ones dealing with this shit on a daily basis. But nope. Gotta protect their precious sons at all costs. Face with rolling eyes. Why the hell do some moms have the weirdest relationship with their sons? Is it because they know their husbands suck so they want to create a more perfect man? Is it a weird competition thing with their daughters? I don't get it, man. Personally, I see it as the idea that some parents have that their child can do no wrong. Not to mention the toxic family stuffs. Though of course there's also the boys will be boys and how there's still media out there supporting such outdated and ridiculous double standards in which even some people today are still being taught, unfortunately. Like concerned parents are having to teach their daughters ways to avoid getting harmed as well as self-defense, rather than have boys taught from a young age that no means no and to not throw a fit about it. Crying about rejection from a girl is fine, but straight up assault or even murder is never okay. Even some women buy into the misogyny. Simple. Raise your son to not be an asshole. As a single mom, I knew this was on me and tried to provide good role models, male and female. This is a parent's job, which seems like many have forgotten. She thinks that being a vessel for a new man means she has special status with the patriarchy. Sadly, she's right. I'm sorry your mom invalidated and ignored you like that. The news updated the story. The girl that was stabbed was helping her friend who had rejected the boy. They're calling her a hero. Boy moms creep me out. Not women that happen to have son. Internalized misogyny. I don't understand it either. Internalized misogyny and sense of competition with all other women, including their own daughters. I guess. I feel sorry for mothers who are like this. Women are raised to think men are more important than women. They're also raised to think that it's usually the woman's fault if something happens to them. Even you were caught out by this. Because you didn't call yourself a concerned woman but a concerned female. Thus subconsciously dehumanizing yourself. I'm a boy mom and I sure as shit raised him to be aware of the issues faced by women. This was my boy mom for sure. We've been no contact for the better part of a decade. The permissive men, responsible women culture. Even women help perpetuate it because that's what they've known all their lives. A similar thing happened to my classmate. She was stabbed to death right after graduating high school for not accepting a date with a boy. It also reminds me of how my mother got back with my father, who even admitted he sexually abused me as a child. And when I wasn't able to forgive him, my mom tried to convince me he'd changed. When I confided in my cousin, she told me that I was lucky my dad was still alive because hers was dead. I can relate to many comments in this thread, and as someone who is AFAB, just want to validate everyone's experiences. It's some bullshit. My mother, despite having 4 daughters and only one son, the youngest, was very much a boy mom. When you say Croydon, do you mean in the UK or Bucks County in Pennsylvania? Because the PA one is a rough place and this would be totally in point for Croydon. I'm so glad I don't have a brother because he'd be all levels of fucked up. My mom is a boy mom. The sons of my high school bully who sexually harassed me and assaulted me by sticking his crotch in my face when I couldn't get away. She didn't know about that, were arrested for assaulting another high school friend's daughter while she was drunk and left her in the front yard of her parents' house. My mom was like, well, she bears some of the responsibility. Meanwhile, I'm over here really upset because this shit happened to someone else. I was furious. Because I was told when my bully was bullying me that it meant that he liked me. And I was furious. She told me off for men bashing because I have brother. Does she think your brother holds misogynistic views? Because that's the only reason she would get upset at your comments. If not, then she's insulting your brother by lumping him in with those other men. The internalized misogyny is real.